This is a hard video to make. This is an extremely hard video to make. I don't know why you guys asked for this. You either like to troll me, which is mean, or you actually somehow, when you were younger, decided to support a club with the devil as the badge. As Lincoln City in League One of England, the rivals to the team I support in Grimsby Town have hit mid-table status in League One. I hoped it were near the bottom, dropping away from a playoff push to the Championship, which I absolutely love. As let's be honest, who likes to see their rivals flourishing in the divisions above? As unfortunately today though, I've got to make myself feel sick, going and winning the Champions League with Lincoln City in FC 25, but with a twist, as I'm only going to be signing players I dislike or are disliked in football by many clubs for many reasons. When we do reach the Premier League, it's going to be hard to sign players I hate when in the lower divisions, but yes, there's no ignoring it, winning the Champions League with Lincoln. Here we go. Probably had every Lincoln City fan click off the video with that intro, but yes, I'm taking your team, if you're still here, towards a Champions League title, using the generic manager, because I definitely wasn't making it myself. No chance I was doing this, as hang on, I've actually got an idea. Here we go, much better. Getting that badge just peering into screen. As on screen right now is the team we have to rebuild here, and they do have some decent players, unfortunately. 20-year-old McCammer looks like a decent potential player for the Prem. If we train him right, they've got youngsters, a lot of Irish lads in this squad. Something I didn't expect, but I also didn't expect it to be a small one. We've got players on loan. Kadamateri from Sheffield Wednesday. Freddie Draper's a very good player, so another one we're going to use all this save. We do have, I think, the captain here in Hamilton, ex-Manchester United. Also a decent winger in Ring, who's a Swedishman, 63 rated. And Sam Klukas, who used to play for Hull City, so the ultimate betrayal player for someone who supports Grimsby, as the budget's only 2 million. And like I said, we can play this anyway until we reach the Prem, then I'm going to switch it up a bit. And actually, I have called this a young squad, but when I scroll down just a few players, you see the ages are all over the place. We've got 30-year-olds, then 23. There's no real gap to it. We've got players on loan like Rob Street, JJ McKiernan, who looks decent at Burton Albion, only 22 years old, and a formation I definitely don't want to be using in this save. I'm going to be changing it up, and I'm going to be rocking the 4-4-2, going against every bone in my body to try and get this team promoted to the Championship. As actually, I'm going to put Hamer in at left back. This man can change to be a centre back, as the keeper's what we need to sign first with that £2 million we've got, which definitely has to go on players, but not much money at all, I've got to say. And I think that does write the academy off. We might have a decent player in it already, but when we do look closer, nope, that's not the case. So goalkeeper, is there any young ones in the division below? There is Owen Goodwin, but I unfortunately know he's on loan from Crystal Palace, so we can't put a bid in for him. We've got Philip Marshall. I watched him the other day, and I actually wasn't a big fan of him, and he's on loan from Aston Villa as well. As maybe I've been too negative, maybe we look up instead of down, as Pierce Charles at Sheffield Wednesday can come along to join his loanee friend, Kadamateri, who would tear it up in this division if we bought him permanently, but I'm not going to do that because we've got young strikers already at the club. So I'm going to sign up Pierce Charles, or the default manager's going to do it. I'm going to get players on position swaps to hopefully craft a good team for next season, as this year I'm just going to rock with what you see on screen. Yes, just left it after one signing, went in for some coaches and some contracts, as that's not bad first season. 14th place finish. We did have a lot of youngsters in there. If it was me speaking non-FIFA terms or FC terms, I would have liked us to be in that relegation zone. As Blackpool go down, they might have some interesting players. Also, Leyton Orient, as who do we get rid of? I mean, Wrexham's still in this league, Birmingham and Bolton. At least Birmingham's out of this league because they love to spend a lot of money. As in the FA Cup finale, there's two interesting teams to see. And if you didn't know already, Lincoln are known for an FA Cup run towards the quarterfinals, I believe it was, at Arsenal. when they were in non-league. Set them up for all the promotions they got. And yes, unfortunately, above Grimsby, as there we go. Round 3, beaten by Crawley on penalties. Not the result we would have wanted. And then Blackpool, who I said got relegated, beat us in round 4 of the Carabao, won away from the quarters. So not bad at all. And then an unfortunate draw in the BSM Trophy. Birmingham City, that team that just beat everyone and actually won the trophy themselves, as this is the team we've had been going for us. Draper has gone up a little bit. Jeffries, he's only 22. Erhanon, I'm going to call him, but I've got no idea if I'm saying that correctly. Decent little defender. Pierce Charles is good in goal. And all around really improving for next season. That's all we wanted from this one as well, because House can go into the team. Bayliss might have to be a centre mid more. Or we could even go out and buy one, as we definitely need more bench players. Not enough at the club, but that's next season's problem now. We've only got to focus on what we have, as these are the players out on loan. Sean Rocken, or Rogan, out on loan at Cosenza in Italy. Then we should have a few more players. Makama I loaned out. He's done okay at Aki Stanley. Alistair Smith, although he's 25, that's an extra player for next season. McKinnon's done okay. And also Rob Street. Pretty sure Doncaster in real life are doing okay with that man in their team, as our top scorer this season was actually Ben House, who I didn't play. So that's surprising. We've got James Collin going down. We've got Ring from the right mid, because I changed a lot of positions around. I have been experimenting season 1 to try and get this team I dislike ticking, as if you do like the team, make sure you leave a like, although I apologize for the way I'm speaking so negatively on the team. And if you're just a neutral of the channel, 1 like equals 1 prayer. And if you're not subscribed, don't forget to click the button. As now, I hate to say it, but I think we've got to aim for promotion with this Lincoln City side. Just look at the players we've got back, man. Makama's only 21, so we kind of sorted for strikers with Rob Street as well. But this man, Rogan, is 22. Definitely fits on the bench, but I've got more plans to use this man in the first team. And Powdy O'Connor is the club captain. Well, he is for now, and with Tom Hamer available as a centre-back, I think we change this up and go for a 3 at the back formation. Like this, get an extra midfielder in, a cam, because Bayliss can play that, and also that man McKiernan. We just got back from a loan deal. As it'll be this what we play once I've shuffled all the players around, and it's a very sturdy shape. No real surprises with the ball. To the way we play as now, Alistair Smith goes into the midfield, but I think that's where we need to sign. This area right here. As strikers may not look too strong for a promotion, which we want this season, but Makama, 6'5", potential to be special, only 21. Freddie Draper's playing at the moment. He's a battering ram in himself, and Ben House can do the job and eventually maybe drop into Cam himself. With this man also queuing up, we've got JJ, we've got Tom Bayliss. I feel really confident about this team, as a lot of Irish players, like I said. So the next thing I'm going to do is look for an Irish player to see if we can find a hidden gem in that country, like Lincoln have done before. Starting with the Republic, and there's this man over at Bohemians, Dawson Devoy, only 23-year-old, a centre mid. However, I haven't even checked the budget, and look at that. In the League One standings, Grimsby Town in League One. They got promoted without me. Hopefully, fingers crossed that can happen in real life. Plus, we get a derby this year. And I think I've still got to root for Grimsby, as 5 million to spend, which is enough for Devoy. But also on this list, I found this Irishman, John Patrick, 21 years of age. Release clause to this guy, who has played in Spain before, and I'm pretty sure on a previous FIFA has had Spanish nationality. Still, I'm going to take him on, and for that release clause of 2.7 million, giving us technically enough to afford Dawson Devoy as well. And with us playing 3 central midfielders now, let's just go ahead and bring into the Imps for a promotion push. And you know the first thing that I'm checking, well, we ended off on a defeat, but what were the scores against Grimsby? A lot of wins, but a defeat to the Mariners. In the latter stages of the season, well, there's a lot of wins around it, but that does put a smile on my face. Again, no offense to the team I'm rebuilding, you just aren't my cup of tea, but then again, in the first game on the 13th. Unlucky for my Mariners, we thumped them 4-0, which to me really does hurt the soul. But in terms of this save and rebuilding, I think we've definitely got to get promoted with all the greens. The green W's, that is, as there we go. We still took 11 defeats, but 32 wins make sure that Lincoln City win League One with a trophy to come with it. As did the Mariners get relegated? No, they actually didn't. You can see, surviving by 2 points. We love to see it as in the FA Cup finale. Exeter? That is a massive shock to me, as we lost in the 3rd round to Sheffield Wednesday. We lost on penalties to Newport in round 1 of the Carabao, won by Wolves, and lost on penalties to Shrewsbury in the BSM, as we don't win it here. Tried reverse psychology, taking over a team that I do dislike, and this team in the championship should stand a chance at least staying up. We've got Hannon, who's now 25. John Patrick at only 22, 74 rated, brilliant player. Charles is doing well in goal. We've got our young striker Freddie Draper, and then the young lad on the bench McCarmer alongside Tom Hamer, who's done really good for himself. And with him stepping into the team, it looks like next season we might just need a cam, and that's it. Maybe another striker if we're desperate. Just depends how many goals they got. And House did get 26. Patrick getting a lot. And Freddie Draper scoring a few. But is that a sign to me we do actually cash out on him? As we did have 6 million. I have paid some contracts because we did need to keep Freddie Draper here, and I did that immediately so. Unfortunately for myself, being a Grimsby fan, I do think Lincoln City have a gem here. This man can go the way to the top, and hopefully we can take him there, as if we take House out, we put not Pody O'Connor, but McCarmer in the strike force. That is a very youthful lineup. We can, of course, replace the cam, and I would like another striker. McCarmer can be a threat from the bench, meaning Lincoln City this year, if we are to improve, have to sell some of these great players, as Ben House, the first of the transfer list. Pody O'Connor I might get rid of, because we do have some decent defenders as is. And Hamilton may go, despite his in-game player face. Devoy is 24. He's 1 rating lower. I think this Irishman, alongside the other Irishman, John Patrick, could make a brilliant midfield. So let's get selling some of these fringe players that I don't want to use anymore, and I've just sold 2 I haven't mentioned previously. Tom Bayliss, the cam, under 70 rated for 3 million. To Watford is a good bit of money. Montsemer goes to Stoke. A player that was never playing, and call me the delegation boss, because I've somehow got my way to 6 million for Ben House from Istanbul Başakşehir, and that is absolutely balmy, because yes, he has some physicality, but I don't think he's worth that at all. Still, we did get the money in the end, and this is where my journey starts. I said I would only sign players who I hate. I'm going to change that slightly. I'm going to sign some players I dislike, and I'm also going to sign some universally hated players by certain teams, or just certain players in particular, that no one seems to like, and this man is the first one. I don't think anyone likes him who's played him in the Premier League. If you're a fan of the club he's just played for, Everton, you won't like him because he's dug at the club despite being out from loan there. So I'm going to bring him in. Yes, he does take a high wage, and I haven't checked the money we've made, but we should have made a lot by now. £12 million, and that's even after signing Neilo. So without further ado, I'm going on a further spending spree. Firstly, with the addition of Moran, a new Cam 73 rated Irishman to keep the theme going. Then we've got Kenny Arroyo, a player from Besiktas, a very skillful winger who hopefully can come off the bench. And finally, last but not least, another Irishman, a young defender, Abankwah, who has experience in the Championship with Watford. Thought he would be a player to make the first team at only 70 rated, or I think he started at 68. He's gone up 2, but still on the bench, alongside a lot of other players. Them 2 needed swapping round. We've got some good ones. We've got Devoy 75, Arroyo 78, and he didn't cost us much money. Also, Makamba now a 74, but when you look at this first team, look how good it has become. Apart from Hamilton in the starting 11, who can be replaced, as let's just shuffle this around. I think Freddie Draper had an injury, or he might not have done, but look at that. look at that team. That is solid for the championship. The ratings are insane. We've got John Patrick, the best at 23. Moran's doing okay as well, but Arroyo is the man to watch out for. Unbelievable, and I've actually never heard of him in real life. As the best player goal-wise is Maupay with 19 goals, and I absolutely hate seeing him in that kit. I mean, it's a player that gets on everyone's nerves in a kit that is a rival to the team I support. I will get nightmares of what you see in front of you as now into the championship, which we did put a good fight up in because there's a lot of decent teams in it this year. And to finish on 90 points, our first season in it, Brentford, Leicester and Leeds above us. We've got Hull City just below us, Luton, and then Ipswich miss out on the playoffs on 74 points. Yes, a lot of good teams in this league. As Wrexham are going down, I mean, Stoke City, they bought one of our players. One of our defenders is in the FA Cup. Stockport County are the team to beat us in the third round, as Brentford from our league in the Carabao. Round 3, and that is a very good start to the playoffs because not only did we thrash Hull in a kind of local derby game, or just a close game in proximity, Luton beat Brentford as then in the final, 1-0 over Luton Town means Lincoln. I really shouldn't be celebrating this, but will go to the Premier League. I definitely need to calm myself down, but I did not expect it with this team. Very good, but I actually struggle to think of a position that could be strengthened entirely to make sure we survive next season. In this Premier League, I believe it's actually fully budget dependent this year on what we're actually able to do, and we're so out of place, it's actually unreal. Even I feel out of place making this career mode video. As you can see, the budget 28 million, but it's gone down because I've straight up paid contracts. To Erhan in the defense, John Patrick was running out, and also Pierce Charles, 3 of the young, decent players here. As genuinely, where do we actually sign? Looking at the bench, only 2 decent players in Ring and Makama, now 75 rated. That's a lot better. Could do with a backup cam, but we obviously need to find some players. And I did say I would sign some players who I dislike in career mode, or actually dislike in real life. But I'm going to go for 3 kinds of players. Them that I dislike, and also those that are universally disliked. Like Neil Maupay is a little bit, but then also some old players that used to play for Lincoln, because again, one is a free agent. And don't ask me how. And don't ask me how I also fit him in the team. But Brennan Johnson here, 26-year-old, not really improved much from his days at Tottenham, but he did have days with Lincoln. He was out on loan there when they were just a League One club, and I will be stupid not to get him. So in he comes, but not the only free agent player, because I also found this guy. Yes, a right back, but Max Aarons, who I'll try to make a centre back, but a lot of weeks to change him there. At least he didn't cost anything, and at least it's a decent player off the bench for this team, strengthening the bench. But where the heck do I play Johnson? Do I try and stick him out on the wing, change a Euro, and then Brennan Johnson there? Or could he even be a striker? Then again, Makama, I want getting some game time. We've got 2 decent wingers now on the bench, so attack's okay. Need to work on the defense again, because these guys in the defense, I mean, Tom Hamer's not getting any younger and not growing at all in a while. Then again, I can't think of a defender that I actually hate with a passion that would allow us to play our tactic. Plus, he's not affordable, but Marc Cucurella, probably a bit of a disliking from the Euros, but that's pretty much it. All the players I'm actually thinking of are attackers, so we might sign another attacker. Cash in on Neil Maupay, and I've already bloody clicked the button, because Manchester City wanted to sign him for 27.5 million. But that is actually stupid. Erling Haaland up top with Maupay doesn't make 1 ounce of sense to me, but of course I'm going to take that money and run. 27.5 straight in, and I believe we already have 20, or roughly that, yes. So we've got 45 million for another attacker, because that's what I do want to sign. Like I said, I don't have any defenders in mind for now, and I'm going back to Brennan Johnson's old club for a man that's actually worked out there and has cost a lot in wages. Never mind the transfer fee, but it's the pigeon man himself, Richarlison. As it's safe to say he's robbed us for a wage. I'll show you in a minute, but 100k? Despite the rest of the team not being on much and the rest of the team being very well rated. Apart from the defense, as I did say, it's actually the goalkeeper letting us down now, but the wingers in Arroyo and Johnson, who I now know didn't grow, probably at Tottenham due to the injury record that they have. And the injury record is had here because Jeffries has been playing. A few more solid additions on the bench now, with Makama being decent. He's almost 80 rated himself, but he is 24 now. Still a unit though, as we lose 3 non-important players. As look at that, Richarlison. Look at that wage. That cost us almost 10 million. And on form like he was at Everton, but he hasn't been because Draper's our top scorer. With Kenny Ayoro, who we need to make a left mid because, of course, Jeffries will try and play ahead of him. Then we have Brennan Johnson with only 4 goals. I want more from our team, but I just want to survive in the Premier League. And that is what is done because we're not in the bottom 3 or 13. We're higher than that. With Lincoln City 11th in the Premier League, minus 17 goal difference, so we definitely conceded quite a few goals. And when I looked just then, it was his goalkeeper that looked weak, Pierce Charles. Not the actual defence. Tom Hamer was okay, as then we reached a round of 16 in the FA Cup, losing to Peterborough, again a huge disappointment. And same in the Carabao Cup, round 4, losing to Liverpool. I mean, that's not as bad at all, is it? As we don't have a decent backup keeper, so next season 100% definitely has to be a goalkeeper purchase. With the money we've got, but 80 million, oh my god, that's actually embarrassing for a team in the second time in the Premier League. Just survived. We do have Hull City here now. That makes me feel a little more confident despite them being quite decent. They did reach the playoffs with us last time, as a few Irishmen and Welshmen on international duty is now the defence. I'm looking at Tom Hamer. After the goalkeeper, Pierce Charles. Now I'm a bit torn on him. Do I sell him for some money or do I make him our backup goalkeeper? Where Wickens is, but I'm thinking if we actually got a free agent keeper to replace on the bench right there, we could get some money out of Charles and improve the defence, improve the goalkeeping. The midfield's okay, the strikers are fine, and we should be on our way to the Champions League title in no time, fingers and toes crossed. As here are the first bids, none from the players we actually wanted to sell, but 31 million from Liverpool for Richarlison. Screw it, we're on a striker search as well. We're going big in this window because we now have big money, but we still need to prioritize what we initially needed. Makama can step up in the meantime, but in the meantime, we're selling them 2 players we needed to. One in Pierce Charles for 22 million to Crystal Palace, and then Tom Hamer for big money, 44.4 million. Aston Villa just seem like they're the club to burn their own cash because no way is worth that much, as now we have 3 positions to fill in with 144 million. But for the goalkeeper, I've got a great idea. There's one player in the Championship who's actually high up in the Championship, making stinker out of stinker, and his fan base is turning on it. A Premier League player in this save, and I'm not talking about Avsucic. I'm talking about Ilem Meslier, who's just had an on and off season. And when I say I want to sign disliked players, he's getting to be a little disliked, so he will come across to Lincoln City better than Pierce Charles. As that's the goalkeeper in now. I said we did need to get another free agent one, and I said I didn't know any defenders who were disliked, but I do know another striker. Or winger, actually winger, because we might have to change formation for the addition of Anthony Gordon. Now I know he's adored at Newcastle, but Everton fans probably look away when I do this because they do not like the betrayal he gave to that club, and plus he's a Liverpool fan. And actually signing the Englishman reminds me of an English defender that I actually don't like, and I have no idea how he's at Real Madrid instead of Trent, Benjamin White, because I just think it's nothing to do with Arsenal. But he refuses to play for his country, and I support the country he's refusing. Therefore, I've never really liked him, so what's better than signing a defender that I finally thought I don't like to a team that I dislike? He'll change to a centre-back and then ending it on a goalkeeper I completely feel neutral towards because I've got no idea who he really is. Never actually heard of him, but from Montenegro, might be the actual national goalkeeper, but he's on a very decent bench now. 280 rated, but we cannot forget about the first team squad. We've changed the formation as well. We've got Moran now as a right mid, Brennan Johnson's moved forward and grown, as well as Freddie Draper has. Was the formation holding us back this much? 2 Englishmen on top, and one of them I dislike personally, Benjamin White, our second best player, which is not a nice thing for me to see, but how have our wingers done? Well, as you can see, pretty goddamn good. We've got Johnson and Gordon, 23 goals apiece. Relying on them wide, man, as I did see Arroyo, and I already knew this was the result. We have won the Premier League title with 5 points over Manchester City. Now, you might expect me to celebrate a little bit more, but obviously I'm not going to be doing that. Instead, I am calmly putting a trophy into the cabinet and moving on. Also acknowledging Champions League football as Aston Villa win the FA Cup. We were out in the quarter-finals to them on penalties. Coming close as in another quarter, losing to Arsenal in the Carabao. The team I believe many years ago they actually lost to in their massive run in the FA Cup when they were a National League team, like I said before. And I still, well, now have the unfortunate displeasure of saying this is a really good team at the start of this next season. We know who needs replacing. We've got an 81 rated left centre-back, and Rogan looks really good, left-footed, captain for a mid-table team, but these are somehow Premier League winners, probably down to Anthony Gordon and Brennan Johnson with the goals they scored, making me think Freddie Draper, could we doubt him? Then again, we don't aim for the Champions League this year, we just aim to do well in it. Yes, that's right, I am not setting the aim to win the trophy like I usually do, because I just don't sense we will. We've won the Premier League, we're building our way up, and for winning the Premier League, 82 million? I expected more than that. I expected over 100. Especially with the money we made, and we're expected to get the Champions League again and win the entire thing. Okay, the board think differently to me, so we need a centre-back, and there's no one I really dislike there, apart from Ben White, so we're going to have to look in a different nation for someone that may stand out, and Real Madrid have had hated defenders. Sergio Ramos was a wind-up merchant, really got in everyone's heads. And same with William Saliba, I'd say, because with Arsenal, they're doing really well, and that's annoying a lot of people. People claim Arteta's trying to use the dark arts to win trophies. That hasn't really worked yet, but I would really like to buy this guy. But will we afford him with 82 million? I really want to take him from the best team in Europe, but they straight up said 100 million, and I can't really afford that at all. So maybe we try Barcelona. There's Ronald Araujo, who's pretty old, and that's about it, you know, because the rest of them don't look good. So maybe it's third time lucky, a team that's been called very defensive, and have a manager that splits opinions in Diego Simeone. Well, they have Robin Lenormand, and I guess he did play in the finale that Spain beat England in the Euros. I'm pretty sure he did. That's enough for me. I now dislike the guy when I remember that fact. As we brought him here to Shrimpton City, and let's see what he can actually do for us. And next up, maybe midfield, because we do have a little bit of money left. If we make Devoy a bench player, or maybe even Hamilton. Get Soldu's on the bench, but the only offer is for Devoy. And Brighton Hove Albion have a lot of money to spend. That is enough for me. Right, he is the man to go. I know it's an Irishman, but I've got someone in mind to replace him. And with 117 million, we can easily afford him. And that him in mind is the very controversial Trent Alexander-Arnold. The man of the moment in the media because of his contract with Real Madrid, supposedly going through, and of course I had to change him to a centre mid. That was the plan. It's took him up a few ratings. It only took 2 weeks, as now we've got a few 90s in the squad, unfortunately including Benjamin White. Meslier's done well at 30, Lenormand's done okay as an old man, and then John Patrick in the midfield. Erahon's still going. I actually don't care if I'm getting his name wrong, by the way, because I never want to say it again, as these are the ratings, unfortunately, at Lincoln City. And here are the goal scorers. Brennan Johnson doing well in his second spell, but Anthony Gordon with 44 in 60. This man is a beast. Just make sure Everton fans don't hear me saying that, as despite scoring a lot of goals this season, we won't get in the top 4 next year. And it's not for the likes of Man City, Chelsea, Spurs. It is Brighton, Newcastle and Villa that have really stopped us. Liverpool won the league on the same amount of points as we did, as then Villa get beaten in the Community Shield, another trophy, which I won't be counting, but the FA Cup obviously does. Lincoln go one better than their quarter-final, this time winning the whole competition, as it pains me again to give them another trophy to lift. Hopefully they don't win more than we did with Grimsby in the other saves. Man United winning, as you just saw, and the Carabao Cup we lost in round 3. No shame in that at all, as I didn't expect us to win this one. But we do win the league phase, scoring 26 goals in the making. However, we conceded a lot as well, and then the first one, the round of 16. Hammered Lazio, good work, so we're still going strong into the quarterfinals, which we win as well by a Leverkusen who flopped this year. Bilbao bet Paris, and then we bet Bilbao in the semi-finals, setting up a finale against Saliba's team, the player we literally just timed to sign, and the team that, of course, Trent is rumoured with going into in real life. We will have to face, but oh my days, I skipped 4 days, man. Erhanon, the captain, has got injured, so Ruckland's going to have to come into the team right now, as that is the Imp squad. And this really pains me to do, man, but I'm actually making a rule with myself. I will celebrate goals, but I won't celebrate the title. I'm sorry. My loyalties lie with Grimsby, and I'm still wearing the jacket. If you are actually a fan of Lincoln and you're still watching, you're one of the rare good ones, as Vinicius Jr. with an early shot. It's a good save by Meslier. No surprise, Lincoln starting off badly, but still. John Patrick, the Irishman, who I don't think's really Irish. I'm remembering being Spanish. I'm sure of it. Was getting us on an attack, but we lost the ball to Kylian Mbappe. It's him, Waneri, and also Vinny Jr. on the other side. Waneri's got the number 10 shirt. Must be replacing Bellingham, or Bellingham's actually up there with him. We need to get a tackle in pretty soon. Lenormand, the ex-Atleti man, had to make the block right there, as that's an optimistic pass from Kylian Mbappe. Now it's Johnson who turns inside. John Patrick into Gordon. Gordon has the man on the spin around him. That is really good work from this man, Arroyo Jr. And he skipped past again as the winger. That's a great ball into Freddie Draper, who hits the post, and that should have been the counter-attack goal. However, now Real Madrid escaping down this left-hand side. We don't have fullbacks. Going to try and make a tackle as it's squared across to Vinny Jr. Brilliant from the now right midfielder in Moran. We've been dominated in this first half, but then again, we should be the team actually winning this fixture, as Freddie Draper was tackled in the middle. But Anthony Gordon, oh my days, we literally started an attack and the referee blew the whistle. That's unfair, as now Brennan Johnson gets around his man to the ball. Brennan needs a bit of support and does get it from Moran. Now Moran goes into the middle. This is a very slow game, and Trent's first touch, Freddie Draper on the spin. It is Freddie Draper off the other post. The Lincoln youngster should have had 2, as now John Patrick wins it back for us, the number 7. It's been a delight. He's been with us for a very long time. Anthony Gordon, with all his goals, weaving his way through. He's given it into Moran, who could give it back. He's gone for the shot, and Arroyo is there. It's a very lucky goal, but the deflection you've got to get on it went past Anthony Gordon, and our winger scores that one. Oh, not winger, sorry, but left mid. He's actually still a right mid. I haven't trained him to actually play there, but who cares? Great intuition to be there for the actual tap-in, as Anthony Gordon on the spin. We need to really find a ball through the middle. That is a great chip over to Freddie Draper again, who's unlucky. He's unlucky. Brennan Johnson, though, I thought he had the rocket trait style, so he should run faster, but he's not doing here. Still, he's away from the defenders, though. Needs somebody in the middle, because he couldn't really shoot in my book. And Anthony Gordon, how's he squeezed that in? It's now 2-0 to the Reds. Very lucky goal, I must say, but they all count. 2-0 to the Imps. Delightful. Just a shame about the actual team that I've just had to say the nickname of, as now Moran needs a run around him from Brennan Johnson. It was handled anyway, as now the short free kick goes into Robin Lenormand. I'm going to try and go for the long shot. He would love a goal against Real Madrid, who we might be fortunate to say we've beaten twice in 2 fixtures in the finals, I believe, as Arroyo could get another one. It's fallen to Freddie Draper. He's so unlucky not to get a goal, and Arroyo just wouldn't shoot. But referee, please. He blows that whistle. As I said, remaining neutral because it is Lincoln City, but we have completed our objective, rebuilding the rivals, or rivals to us. Anyway, as Benny Blanco's gonna lift it. Is that his nickname, Benjamin White's? I really don't like the player. But don't hate the player, hate the game, because he's lifted the trophy without me even getting to say it. Thanks, Ben. I know you hate me also. Could have waited till I actually said it, but that is it. We've rebuilt the rivals. As if you know a team you want me to rebuild, comment it below, or click here for a new video.